Good morning. It is Wednesday, May 17th, 10 a.m., and I'll call to order the Ottawa City Commission meeting. Can I have roll call, please?
Mayor Crowley,
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Skidmore,
Just barely present.
Commissioner Graves,
Present.
Commissioner Kaler,
Completely present.
and Commissioner Clayton.
Present.
All right. Since some of us are all the way here and some of us are partially here, we will call that a quorum. We'd like to welcome everybody, whether you're here in person or you're listening to us on some form of media. We'll start today with the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by the invocation by Pastor Tiger Pennington from the First Baptist Church. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let us pray. Creator God, you have created all that is and said it was good, and you have created humanity and said very good. So grant your wisdom this day during this meeting as those who are called to serve and have chosen to serve consider the good and very good in this community. Be with all those who serve and protect, and grant them wisdom and compassion and protection. And God, as in this month when mental health is highlighted and declared, we ask that you would be especially present with those who serve, and those who share compassion, those who seek to walk alongside, and be with those who are suffering in those ways, that they may know at their very core the very good of their divine creation. So God, we give you thanks for this day. We give you thanks for the meeting that is about to take place, and may the good and very good come forth. In the name of Jesus, amen.
Thank you, Pastor. All right, that'll move us on to our consent agenda, which consists of our minutes from our April 17th study session, our April 19th regular meeting, our April 24th study session, and our May 1st study session. There's 2 appointments to city boards. One of them is Isaac Gwynn to the Ottawa Memorial Auditorium Advisory Board, and the other one is Jim Dean to the Ottawa Library Board, and then our agenda approval. Is there a motion?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Thank you.
I'll second.
A motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion is approved. That'll move us on to our regular agenda. Do we have any public comments?
We have none registered.
Great, thank you. All right, item 10 is our declaration. At this time, I'd like to give the commissioners a chance to declare any conflict or communication they've had that might influence their ability to consider today's issues impartially. Hearing none, we'll move on to new business. Item 11.
Proclamation recognizing May as Mental Health Month.
The proclamation to increase awareness and understanding of mental health and the need for accessible services for all with mental health conditions. Leslie Bjork from the Elizabeth Layton Center will accept the proclamation, and it will be read by Commissioner Kaler.
And the proclamation reads as follows. Whereas mental health is essential to everyone's overall health and well-being, and whereas mental illnesses are real and prevalent in our community, and half of us will have a mental health diagnosis at some point in our lives. And whereas all citizens experience times of difficulty and stress in their lives and should feel comfortable in seeking help and support to manage through these times. And whereas engaging in prevention, early identification, early intervention are effective ways to reduce the burden of mental illnesses as they are to reduce the burden of other chronic conditions. And whereas there's a strong body of research that identifies mental health risk and supports specific tools that all citizens can use to protect their health and well-being. And whereas recovery is real and possible, and all citizens should know that support and help is available. And whereas each business, school, government agency, healthcare provider, organization, and citizen has a responsibility to promote mental health and well-being for all. Now, therefore, the governing body of the City of Ottawa, Kansas does hereby proclaim May 2023 as Mental Health Month. And be it further resolved that the governing body of the City of Ottawa, Kansas also calls upon citizens, government agencies, public and private institutions, businesses, and schools of Ottawa to recommit to our community the increasing awareness and understanding of mental health and the steps to take, or that our citizens can take to protect their mental health, and the need for appropriate and accessible services for all people with all mental health conditions. Signed this the 17th day of May 2023 by our Mayor Eric Crowley.
Thank you. Leslie, you want to come on up? All right.
Thank you, Mayor Crowley, Commissioners. It's an honor to serve this community's mental health needs. Elizabeth Layton Center is here to support, here to help, and I can assure you that accessing and receiving care is probably easier than reading through a very lengthy proclamation. Thank you for your support. We've appreciated the longstanding partnership with the City of Ottawa and encourage all citizens to receive mental health care. Thank you.
Leslie, thank you, and thank Elizabeth Layton Center for what you do for our citizens that are in need of mental support. So, thank you. All right, Commissioners, we're going to go a little off agenda here. I have an off-agenda item acknowledging our Director of Utilities, Dennis Tharp. Dennis recently received an award from KMU, the Kansas Municipal Utilities Association. This award is an inaugural award for leadership excellence. KMU wanted to create an award to acknowledge leadership excellence within the utility departments. Some of these attributes that they look for and certainly found in Dennis are vision, integrity, communication, decisiveness, empathy. Dennis understands and empathizes with emotions, needs, and perspectives of his team, which are now joining us. Accountability. He takes ownership of his responsibilities and holds himself and others, as you see pouring into the room now, accountable for their actions. Adaptability. He is flexible and adaptable in the face of changing circumstances, which we have every day in the City of Ottawa. Whether it's a utility issue, Dennis jumps right on it and has this great crew that's pouring in right now to help him with the adaptability of changing. Confidence. Dennis is an extremely confident person. He inspires confidence and trust while motivating others to excel. He believes in his team, their abilities, and their abilities to be a team. Delegation. Dennis develops his team members through the delegation of tasks and responsibilities. He recognizes and utilizes the strengths of these team members, empowering them to take ownership and grow in their roles. Resilience. Through his career, Dennis has often had to overcome challenges and setbacks. He has remained positive, focused, and determined, even in difficult times. He has persevered and inspires this team to do the same. Thank you, Dennis, for your service and the commitment of making Ottawa and our corner of the world a better place. So we have an award for you. I'll meet you up here if you'd like. Not to put you on the spot.
Yeah, you are. You're putting them on the spot. I mean, let's be honest here. Yes, you are.
You want to say anything?
Well, thank you. Yeah, what do you say to that? That's 2 times that I've had people stand in my presence, and I'm, quite honestly unaccustomed to that. But I would like to say that accepting an award like this is extremely special to me. We have worked very hard to create a situation where, quite honestly, where we all want to come to work, where we want to serve this community, where we want to be a part of the things that take place. These folks back here are the reason that people like me get awards like this. I can't say enough about the crew, the people that work for this organization that have supported me as we've moved forward in the endeavors that we've done. We've done a lot of good things over a period of time, and we will continue to do a lot of good things. Again, thank you. And thank you for this.
Thank you.
very much.
Thank you, Dennis. Dennis, thank you for certainly the years that you've committed to working here at the City of Ottawa. It's been a pleasure of mine to deal with you every day, not only in this form of dealing with you, but being an electrician and dealing with your utility guys and the wonderful times that I've had with them. It says a lot about you that these folks, I don't think they just wanted to take off a few minutes. I think they actually wanted to show up and show their respect and their appreciation for you and what you've done for them. So thank you guys also for being here and showing Dennis the respect and appreciation that he certainly deserves. So thank you once again, Dennis.
I hope you left one behind to run the power plant. I don't know.
It's still on, right?
The lights are
I'm
still
like, it's
working
still
for
They
that.
were
on.
flickering. All right, we
y'all
will
can
move on
stay,
to-
right?
Yeah, you can stay if you'd like. All right.
Good.
I'll give you a few minutes to leave. Quiet it down a little bit in here.
Do we want to wait on the proclamation, like AJ getting the photo and then come back to that?
Yeah, I'll do that. We'll move
Do you want to
to
have,
Kalia real quick. Thank you.
hey, do you want to tell DJ he can go? Because he's sitting right here.
Hey, you can go take a picture. We'll jump down real quick.
We'll wait until you're done.
Yeah,
It's nothing to sneeze at, certainly.
it's actually getting a little bright in here with all them shirts.
It was good.
It's high vis.
Yeah, yeah, it was high vis. He's got the big language here.
Yeah.
The big language on the right.
All right, since they're going to take a picture, our next proclamation is actually going to involve one of our utility workers. So, Chief, we're going to scoot down to item 13.
Commission on Accreditation for Law Enforcement Agencies, CALEA, Site-Based Assessment Update.
All right, update on the CALEA program and the Ottawa Police Department's 2023 Site-Based Assessment Reaccreditation Process with Chief Adam Weingartner. Good morning.
Morning, Mr. Mayor. Good morning, Commissioners. Thank you for allowing me to have some time to talk about our CALEA site-based assessment that's coming up. Should be a PowerPoint presentation coming up for the public to follow along for just a minute. I want to give you just a brief update about what's going to happen the first week of June, when an assessor from the CALEA organization will come to Ottawa and meet with our staff and many other community partners and agency partners that we work with to adhere to and achieve the standards represented by CALEA. So CALEA is the Commission on Accreditation for Law Enforcement Agencies. It is an international accreditation body that adheres to what's considered best practices. And if you could go to the next slide. So the purpose of CALEA accreditation programs is to improve the delivery of public safety services, primarily by maintaining a body of standards developed by public safety practitioners covering a wide range of up-to-date public safety initiatives, establishing and administering an accreditation process, and recognizing professional excellence. The CALEA organization started in 1979, and since that time continues to update what's considered best practices, best policies in law enforcement. And certainly that has been reinforced over the last few years, that many incidents across this country have involved law enforcement and relationships with our public, and certainly the scrutiny by the media on some of the practices. I'm happy to report that because of a lot of those things that you saw in the news that other communities struggled with, because we're accredited through CALEA, we had already been doing much of the things that were recommended, or as a result of the review process, any updates or improvements in those processes were almost immediately rolled out to us to update. Next slide. The department received initial accreditation in November of 2015. Since that time, the accreditation cycle and process has changed slightly, but my experience and now continuing forward is that the department will go through reaccreditation every 4 years. Well, in that 4-year time, what happens is assessors access all of our files remotely, and working with Stacy Allen, our accreditation and property manager, review 25% of what is called the standards or our policies, the things that we do. They come in and inspect our records so that they can document and see that we're actually doing those things that we say we're going to do. And by the end of the 4 years, that will have covered about 100% of the standards. At the end of that 4-year cycle, an assessor from CALEA comes on site and through a 3-day process, again, starts to inspect and see some of the things. It's not as much of a file review process as it once was, because we're doing all of that electronically and remotely for the past 4 years. So really, the assessor who comes here is really wanting to talk to the officers, talk to the staff, and talk to all of you about what having an accredited department means for you and the community. CALEA is paid for through a partnership with the Ottawa Police Foundation, which covers 50% of the cost of the annual membership for CALEA, plus the computer program that's required by CALEA to electronically deploy policies and procedures, and for those assessors to remotely access. Our annual site-based assessment is scheduled for June 5th through 7th, 2023. And we have a schedule that's already been determined, and certainly reaching out to some of our community partners about meeting with the assessors throughout that 3-day process. Next slide. Just about 5% nationally, law enforcement agencies are accredited through CALEA. Currently, Ottawa is one of 12 agencies in Kansas to achieve that accreditation. The last time I stood before you to talk about this, there were 10. So in 4 years, only 2 more organizations in Kansas have been able to complete that accreditation process. There are other agencies in what's called the assessment phase where they're beginning to go through that, but certainly it is quite a bit of administrative work to build this program up, and then it is work every single day to maintain it. From the officers to the administrative staff to the CALEA organization, continual inspection and oversight of what's happening is important. Next slide. Since 2019, the department has completed the annual review, about 25%. At the end of each year's 25% review, we complete a report in the CALEA program. And that covers what's kind of considered our high liability items, so uses of force, police pursuits, internal investigations, or what we call professional standards investigations. It analyzes our data and makeup of our personnel by race, sex, gender, experience, how we match up to the demographics of our community, what our service area is, our call load, and what we're doing and what threats, opportunities, and weaknesses that we see we need to work on for the next cycle. To date, the department has successfully completed all annual reviews with no major deficiencies. And credit is due to Stacy Allen, who administers this program and joins me here today, for making sure that we don't have any major issues. And it is a full-time job in addition to the full-time job of managing our property and evidence room, which is another significant task and a very high liability item. As part of that annual review, we do at least 3 inspections of the property room, including random and required audits of property items, all the way down to the signature that's on the piece of property that's packaged by the officers and put into the room. Next slide, please. Yeah, thank you. Site-based assessment schedule. One assessor will be here to start the assessment on June 5th. Our assessor is named Chief Lou Dekmar. He recently retired from LaGrange, Georgia Police Department and was their chief of public safety prior to his retirement. And I'll just say a few things about Chief Dekmar, who I loosely know. So he knew Dennis Butler much more because they served on several IACP committees. But I met Chief Dekmar just about a decade ago when I served on a committee that developed a program, a training program through IACP called Leading by Legacy. But Chief Dekmar is one of our nation's most respected law enforcement chiefs. He serves on many national and international communities. He's considered an expert in use of force, policy procedure, and accreditation. And it's a little unnerving when you have somebody with such high standards, such high respect coming in and looking at your organization, like all of us do. We're opening everything up. And we certainly hope we're doing everything well. And I know that Chief Dekmar is going to tell us where we need to make improvements and what we can do to do that. But after that, knowing if he comes here and has a good visit, I'll feel really good about the things we're doing moving forward. Even though we already do, it's really nice to have that outside influence and inspection of what's going to come. So when we found out his name, Stacy and I were a little unnerved, but certainly through our conversation with him, we feel really good about him coming here. And I know he'll challenge us, but the results are going to be really positive for the community. We'll start off with meeting and greeting our staff, doing a tour of the station and what's called observable standards. So basically, Chief Dekmar is going to walk around our building and make sure that we have things that we're required to. For example, holding cells for prisoners, and there's locked access. Security alarms in those areas for notifying help if we need that. Having a generator that provides backup power so we don't lose power in an emergency. And similar standards like that. The first day, we'll talk about our in-service training program, our field training program, what we do for use of force, and then our patrol operations. Certainly the most visible and largest division of the department is patrol. And Chief Dekmar will end that day by going on a ride-along with an officer who will kind of talk to him about the standards and how they apply to the work that officers do every day. Just by coincidence, during this site visit, we're holding our annual active threats response training at Ottawa University. We do that annually every year, right about June, when OU's out, so we can use their wonderful facility to do that. But we'll bring Chief Dekmar over there and kind of show him some of that training. And then the rest of the day, we'll be meeting with the other two divisions about their operations, the Investigations and Support Services Division and the newly created Community Outreach Programs and Services Division and all of the things they do. The next day is community partners. We've invited several key figures in our community that we work with every day at executive level functions to talk about what it means to you and the work that happens to do that. And honestly, you all likely don't know all of the work that goes into that, and I hope you can trust us that by the time we come to you with this, there has been so much work done to get to that point. But we hope that all of you will be able to join us and talk about those partnerships and what it means to you. And lastly, thank you, the governing body. Nothing we do and accomplish can be done without you, without your support, both your political and personal support, but your financial support of stewards of the money for the city of Ottawa. There is a cost, a financial cost, to becoming accredited and maintaining it. And I think it's worth the investment in both the funds and the time for us to maintain accreditation. And as long as I'm here, it's not going to go away. So with that, I'll stand for any questions that you might have regarding the process or the CALIA program in general.
Well, I'll start off. I appreciate Chief Butler getting this started, but I know it takes a lot of effort and work on your part to keep it going, and that's obviously with the every 4 years visit. So I thank you, Chief Butler. Thank you, Stacy, for your extra effort in making this happen. I can't help but think if a business is looking at our community and they see that we are accredited, that may help in some small way to steer them our direction with the quality of law enforcement. So thank you, Chief, for what you do. Thank you for all your officers as well, obviously. Good job.
Thank you.
I appreciate, Chief, that that you bring up that there is indeed a monetary cost to being a part of this process and being accredited. However, there is an even bigger cost if we weren't. And so your dedication and your staff's dedication is applauded. So thank you.
Thank you.
Chief, it's got to make you feel proud, as you said, having this accreditation. And certainly, I hope it makes your officers feel proud, too. I know now that not every city in the state of Kansas has a police department, but there are 505, I think, cities, something like that, in city of Kansas, along with the highway patrols and other, sheriff's departments and stuff. So to be one of 12 accredited departments, that's outstanding, quite frankly, and certainly makes me feel proud when you read this that we have folks like you and your patrol officers out there protecting us. So we appreciate it and rightfully deserve it, though. You guys deserve this accreditation.
Thank you.
All right. If there's nothing else, we will move to item 14.
Recognition of Ottawa Police Department staff for National Police Week.
Thank you again for having me, and certainly thank you a few weeks ago for the proclamation by the governing body to proclaim this week as National Police Week. Events in Washington, D.C. at the Law Enforcement Officers Memorial have been occurring for the past few days and will continue to do so this week. And in Kansas, we end the week with a memorial service and a candlelight vigil at the state capitol with our state law enforcement from local, county, and state and federal agencies. And we'll have representation there going through that as well. I have had an opportunity to be at both the National Memorial during my time at the FBI National Academy and in the memorial service in Topeka. And it is always a humbling, sad, but proud experience. And, accreditation's great. It does take all the support. And the officers that work every single day do the work that allows us to maintain the accreditation, but they also go out and do the work that needs to be recognized and honored every year. In 1963, in fact, one of our officers gave their life in the line of duty. There's a memorial plaque. There's an inscription from his entry on the National Wall in Washington, D.C., and a placard on our floor that represents Captain Cowden, who so far is the only officer to lose his life in Ottawa in the line of duty. I wake up every single day. Thankful that I haven't had another name. And I hope I never have to. But if we do, we're going to get up the next day. We're going to go back to work. And we're going to do the work of the city and the organization. And we can't do it without them. So thank you. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your kind words. I can't tell you how many times we go throughout this community and somebody thanks us for our service. This is a great town. This is a great place, a great city, and a great department. And I am so lucky to be here working with these folks every single day. So to you all, thank you for the work that you do. Thank you.
Chief, thank you. It's I don't have to tell you this. It's been a rough couple years for you guys. Not for you particularly, but police officers in general. I'm glad to hear that your statement about that you don't go a day without somebody telling you thank you for your service, because I can tell you from this seat, it's gratefully deserved. Just the wonderful things that you guys do for the community, not just patrolling, but just in general. Being a part of our community is wonderful. It's much appreciated. And on a lighter note, I appreciate you putting an officer at the beginning of my block, to keep anybody out of there.
Glad to help.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we'll jump back to item 12.
Proclamation recognizing May 20th, 2023 as National Kids to Park Day.
In recognition of the 13th Annual National Kids to Park Day, organized by the National Park Trust to introduce a new generation to our nation's parks, Commissioner Graves will read the proclamation, and it will be received by DJ Welsh from our Public Works.
The proclamation reads as follows. Whereas May 20th, 2023 is the 13th Kids to Parks Day organized and launched by the National Park Trust, held annually on the third Saturday of May. And whereas Kids to Park Day empowers kids and encourages families to get outdoors and visit local parks, public lands, and waters. And whereas we should encourage children to lead a more active lifestyle to combat issues of childhood obesity, diabetes, hypertension, and hypercholesterolemia. And whereas Kids to Parks Day will broaden children's appreciation for nature and outdoors. And whereas Kids to Parks Day will recognize the importance of recreating responsibly while enjoying the benefits of the outdoors. And now, therefore, the governing body of the City of Ottawa, Kansas does hereby proclaim May 20th, 2023 as Kids to Parks Day in the City of Ottawa and urges all citizens to celebrate Kids to Parks Day. Signed this 17th day of May, 2023 by our Mayor, Eric Crowley.
Thank you. TJ, come on up, please.
I just want to thank all you guys for this recognition. Obviously, yes, this day is going to be special for getting your kids out into the parks and playing, recreating, however that may be. But not only this day, but get them out there every day. It shouldn't just be narrowed down to one day that we put forth, specifically. Let's get them out there all that we can. So, thank you, guys.
Thank you, DJ. All right, that moves us on to item 15.
Approval of bid and authorization for execution of lease purchase of fire engine.
The city received 2 bids from local banks for the lease purchase of the new fire engine. Approval of the bid from Kansas State Bank and authorization for the mayor to execute the lease purchase documents at closing are recommended. And I believe we have Rebecca and Chief Matthias.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Morning. Thanks for having us. For those of you listening who were not here on Monday, we're bringing this back. We did discuss it there. There were 2 questions asked on Monday, so I do have those answers for you. There is no penalty for prepayment if we so choose to do that. And then also, our banking partner said that, as always, we are welcome to come negotiate if interest rates make a drastic change and it makes financial sense to do so. Do you have
Great.
anything, Chief?
Yeah, I want to thank you as the commission to supporting the fire department. And this is a huge monetary investment. We just don't have one of these. We have 3 engines, a ladder, and a couple other auxiliary trucks. So there's a lot of equipment sitting over there that costs a lot of money, and we appreciate your support in getting us that equipment and the public as a whole. Without them, we wouldn't have a fire department. So we appreciate their support, and we appreciate Kansas State Bank for stepping up and financing this engine. So, also, we'll have a chamber coffee on the June 23rd. We'll kind of highlight the new engine and the fire department, and then at some time in the near future, we'll have an open house and kind of a show off the truck and our annual push-in ceremony. So that'll be coming. Thank you.
Commissioners, do you have any questions or comments for either Rebecca or Chief? Would you like?
Mr. Mayor, I do see Roger Maxwell, President of Kansas State Bank, is in our presence. Thanks, Roger, for coming. And we do appreciate Kansas State Bank's work with the city, not only deposit side and the lending side and all around. And so we do appreciate your involvement with our city. And so with that, I'll make the motion we approve item 15 on our agenda.
I'll second that motion.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Let's can I have a roll call vote, please?
How do you vote, Mayor Pro Tem Skidmore?
Yes.
Commissioner Clayton?
Yes.
Commissioner Kaler?
Yes.
Commissioner Graves?
Yes.
And Mayor Crowley?
I vote yes. Motion is approved. Thank you, Rebecca. Thank you, Chief. And Roger, as our Mayor Pro Tem said, thank you. All right, that moves us on to comments by our city manager. Thank you. Comments by city commissioners. Commissioner Graves?
I just kind of want to echo what we've said. Thank you to the police department and the chief for his work in getting reaccredited, and to Dennis and his staff as well, but really all of the city employees. I feel like we're kind of a big family, and they all contribute to those things in their own way. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Commissioner Kaler.
Want to certainly give my kudos and sincere appreciation for all that Dennis Tharp has done for the city of Ottawa. I've known Dennis, I think, my whole entire life, prior to even he working at the city. And I know that he gives 110% to every single thing that he puts his mind at and goes forward with. And the utility department is no different. He has given so much of his time, talent, and treasure to making sure that we all have lights on, that we all have the water running, and that when we flush the toilet, that it goes down and goes away. So thank you, Dennis. Thank you, and the award is well deserved. Well deserved. Thank you to our police department, and thank you to individuals who keep our parks going. It is just a good time to be an Ottawan.
Thank you. Commissioner Clayton?
I will mirror the same thoughts that have been expressed before me. It's always nice having days when you can kind of publicly actually thank the thankless people. I think police, fire, and utilities are people who are either in sight and maybe not always great for some of us, and so they don't always get thanked the way they should. And then utilities folks are a lot of times out of sight, and we don't always appreciate all the work they do to keep our lights going, water running and everything. So I think days like today are great to recognize those people and all the work that they put in day out.
Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem Skidmore.
Yeah, I agree with all that everybody has said here. You know, some people think the city just operates automatically, but they don't realize it takes people, and we've got some great people here. So Dennis, in particular, you, I know for the last year and a half, you've been wearing two hats in this different departments here in town, and we just do thank you for that. And also thank your wife, Stella. I know she probably lost you on a lot of evenings, a lot of days maybe we had off to go do some job that you had to do, and so just tell her appreciate she is a team member in this as well, and so we appreciate that as well, both of you.
Stella might want to thank us.
Yeah. Maybe that's it. We can give her a award next time.
I have no other comments. I do have a few announcements. This afternoon at 1:30, we will have a commission retreat with John Devine. John, thank you for showing up. May 22nd, our study session at 4 p.m. at City Hall, and then we have May 29th is the Memorial Day holiday, so our study session will be canceled and City Hall will be closed. Is there anything else to come before the commission this morning? I'll adjourn.